Welcome to the opening stage of Desafio Ruta 40. The rally officially kicked off on Sunday night with a spectacular podium ceremony as the riders, drivers and co-drivers of the 106 participating vehicles were given a warm welcome in Cordoba. Motorsport is very much a local passion, and combined with the international flavour of this event, which is round 4 of the World Rally Raid Championship, we have all of the ingredients for a memorable week indeed. Now, last night, the top 10 RallyGP bikers from the prologue got to choose their starting positions for today. And having come in 11th, Sam Sunderland found himself in the often unenviable position of having to open the track, although the navigation wasn't expected to be too tricky on this first loop around Cordoba. According to rally director Pablo Eli, this is a WRC-style stage on tracks that will be familiar to those who did the Dakar in South America. And very importantly for the bikes, there will be no bonus seconds available for the openers throughout the week. The headline news today was that local star Luciano Benavides is sadly out of the rally. The reigning world champion crashed at kilometre 258 and he was struggling with a lot of hip pain. As a precaution, he was taken to hospital for a checkup. We wish Luciano a speedy recovery and we hope to see him back in action in Morocco.
Luckily, they took him to the hospital. They did some checks. Looks like it's a small injury on the hip, but really a small thing. Of course, it's too early to say exactly how bad it can be, but we're happy that it's nothing major and he will be okay.
Well, Ross Brand stopped for a while to check that Luciano was okay and then cruised his way to 5th place on the stage. The World Championship leader admitted that he is just focused on keeping that hero on 2 wheels and doing his best every day. Even if he dropped 2.5 minutes, he was happy enough with his performance. He was also delighted to see so many fans out on the track. Well, Branch wasn't actually the highest placed of the hero riders today. That honour went to his teammate Sebastian Bühler. The German had a brilliant time at the last round in Portugal as he came 2nd overall, and he could have had an even better first stage here in Argentina if he hadn't run into trouble after refuelling. We will let the man himself explain what happened.
Around K260 I had a little crash, or not so little, but I managed to stand up and to bring the bike to the end. But I lost a little bit of time, but also the tire was quite gone, so I tried to finish the stage and looking forward for tomorrow.
Adrian van Beveren is a big fan of Argentina, saying it's like his home away from home. The Frenchman has won rallies here before, but never Ruta 40, and that is something he would love to change this year. VBA really enjoyed all of today's twists and turns on his way to 3rd place. A very solid outing. Tasha Sharena described this as a very hard day at the office. The winner of yesterday's prologue spoke of the cold weather and the slippery tracks, yet he still powered through to 2nd place on the day, only 1 measly second down on the winner. And like many of the riders, he also had words of support for Benavides after his crash. But victory on the day went to the reigning Dakar champion Ricky Brabec, meaning it was a Honda 1-2-3. The American having some fun on the fast tracks and slippery roads. Brabec didn't go to Abu Dhabi or Portugal, so he's just happy to be back on the rally bike again, and this was some way to mark his comeback. He is looking forward to battling with his teammates and his rivals over the next 4 days.
There's no opening bonus here, so I think here for the Ruta 40, it's literally about raw speed and navigation. So, there's no advantage to opening, and I think that's cool. So we're bringing it back a little bit old school here. So we'll see how it plays out. There's still 4 more days of racing, so looking forward to it.
3 Hondas and 2 Heroes in the top 5, so a good day for the teams in the World Rally Raid Championship. The day's opener, Sam Sunderland, was the best of the rest, down in 8th. With the prologue times taken into account, Sharena leads Brabec by just 1 second. Over to the Rally 2 class, and it was a bad day for Konrad Dabrowski. The Pole is currently 4th in the World Championship and had a chance to make up ground on Jean-Louis Lepon, who's not here, but his bike broke at kilometre 210 with no power in the fuel pumps. Heavy penalties ended his chances of a good overall result, but they will try to patch the bike up for tomorrow. Edgar Canet burst onto the Rally Raid scene at the last World Championship round in Portugal, coming 4th in Rally 2. At just 19 years of age, the Spanish motocross rider is definitely one to watch. He was right up there again today, finishing 3rd fastest on his KTM. Canet is hoping to make his Dakar debut next January, but first he needs to complete Ruta 40. It'll be fascinating to see how Romain Dumontier gets on this week on his new Honda. The Frenchman's riding the bike that Tosha Sharena took to the Dakar and finds himself in a very similar situation to the Spaniard last year as a non-official Honda rider. Today he was frustrated by the quads spending over 200k in their dust, but he still came 2nd in class. Bradley Cox also got stuck behind the quads, but having set off further back in the field, he gained a little time on Dumontier. There are just 3 points separating the two in the championship, so they'll be battling it out all week. Cox also struggled in the cold, but struck an early blow with this Rally 2 win.
Yesterday wasn't the best, obviously with the misty conditions. I didn't get the best prologue, so I came from behind today, and it was good. I managed to catch the guys in front and no issues, and now 4 more days and just keep this rhythm. I think it'll be good.
Cox taking it from Dumontier with Canet just over 6 minutes back. Yesterday's prologue winner, Jeremias Pascual, was 4th, ahead of Robbie Wallace. Cox leads Dumontier by 1:23, but the Frenchman starts behind him on tomorrow's long 2nd stage. There are also a handful of Rally 3 riders taking part in Argentina, though only one of them, John Medina, was also at the class's opening round in Portugal. The Chilean was originally 2nd today, but a late penalty for Fernando Hernandez pushed him up to 1st, an ideal start for the man who did his 3rd Dakar back in January. Following his brilliant prologue win yesterday, Facundo Viel had all sorts of adventures today. The Argentine was leading the quads after going through his hometown, Jesus Maria, but started running out of fuel with 30k to go. Luckily, he got some help from some good Samaritans out on the track, only losing 3.5 minutes to the day's winner. Well, that was his old pal Manuel Andujar, who said that today's 381 kilometres absolutely flew by. The World Championship leader had to ease off a bit in the closing stages when his motor started leaking oil, but he still had enough of an advantage to get the win. The Argentinian is having a blast on home soil.
Today was an amazing day. We raced here in Cordoba. Years ago, we used to race here, and the roads are amazing. The people, a lot of people from Argentina, from the public, making too many noise in the track. That is amazing.
Only 3.5 minutes separating the top two, with Juan Carlos Carignani almost 25 minutes back. Crucially, as far as the W2RC is concerned, Hani Al-Numaisi hit major mechanical trouble. That's a big boost for the early leader Andujar as he looks to wrap up the world title. Today was Marcus Baumgart's 47th birthday, but unfortunately it wasn't to be a day of celebration for the Brazilian. his Prodrive Hunter ground to a halt at kilometre 251 due to major mechanical trouble, and with no quick fix, they were forced to retire from the stage. A real shame for Baumgart, whose father was born here in Cordoba. Seth Quintero also had a frustrating day. The American made a flying start. He was actually topping the timesheets at the first check, but things came unstuck when he tried to pass the other Baumgart brother Christian. Quintero and his co-driver Dennis Sens ended up getting stuck on a cliff and lost around 25 minutes, a blow to their chances of an overall podium. Juan Cruz Jacopini is delighted to be back rallying in his native Argentina, and he had a very solid outing today with co-driver Danny Oliveras. It's their first time in the slightly wider Hilux, and Jacopini says it feels more comfortable. Despite some narrow and technical passages in the latter part of the stage, they came home in 4th place, dropping 7 minutes and 37 seconds on the winners. Lucas Morais was the last of the 28 FIA vehicles to set off today after what he described as his amateur mistake in yesterday's prologue, when he hit a wall and ripped off the rear right wheel. The Brazilian had to be patient as he wound his way through the traffic, but he still ended up in 3rd place on the stage and praised his co-driver Armand Monleon. Morais is just happy to be back in the game. With Carlos Sainz absent, Nasser Al Attiyah has a comfortable lead in the World Rallye Championship, and he doesn't really need to take risks in the Prodrive Hunter this week. Today was a good example. The Qatari was fighting for the stage win, but decided to ease off due to a minor suspension issue. They survived, no problems, and only lost 2 minutes 20. And as he ominously pointed out back at the bivouac, tomorrow is another day. Instead, the stage victory went to Yazeed Al Rajhi and Timo Gottschalk, who went storming through the field in their Toyota Hilux. The Saudi overtook 4 cars on his way to the win, so he ate a lot of dust, but he ended the day with a big smile on his face. The crew of 202 dominating a tricky stage as they became the first overall leaders in the ultimate class.
Big fight this race, like always. We are second in championship. We do our best. We fight for that, and we need to make a clean run and a clean race every day.
Al Rajhi is the early leader then from Al Attiyah, but we still have an awful long way to go at this Ruta 40. Dania Akil is in South America for the very first time in her BBR Taurus. The Saudi's been doing her national championship in a T1 Plus Hilux and says she's enjoying her hybrid learning program between Ultimate and Challenger. She was originally 3rd today, but a 10-second penalty dropped her down to 4th. Argentinian star Nicolás Cavigliasso did very well in the first part of the stage. A former Dakar winner in the quads, he is now going from strength to strength in the Challengers class alongside his wife Valentina. They spent a while in Moraes' dust but came second, around 4 minutes off the pace. But Rokas Baciuška is clearly a man on a mission, and he backed up his prologue win yesterday with the Stage 1 victory. The Lithuanian says that these stages are all about survival, saving the car and saving power. He picks up another 5 points in the World Rally Championship and says that he is loving this rumble with the local drivers.
I like competition with the local guys. I know the Argentinian guys are my friends. Yeah. It's good that there is competition. If no competition, it will be boring.
Baciuška leads Cavigliasso by 4 minutes and 12 seconds, with Marcelo Tiglia-Gastaldi sneaking a few seconds ahead of Akil into 3rd after her late penalty. There was big drama in the SSVs today as the World Championship leader Yasir Seaidan hit major mechanical trouble. The Saudi had already suffered a broken turbo in Portugal, and he was undone by the same problem today at kilometre 300. The team will try to repair overnight, but this could be a decisive moment in the title race. because Seaidan's loss was Sebastian Guayasamin's gain. The Ecuadorian put the hammer down from the off to win by almost 3 minutes from Rebecca Busi. Guayasamin is currently second in the W2RC, and he says that today's events will certainly spice things up in the fight for the World Championship crown.
We've been waiting for this a couple of races for the fourth race of the World Rally Race Championship. We had to push our limit. We know that we have only 2 races left to fight for the World Championship, and this for sure gives us a boost.
Guayasamin leads by 2 minutes and 52 from Busi, with Enrico Gaspari third at 4 minutes and 49 seconds. Luciano said goodbye, and Yazeed laid down the law in this first full outing of Desafio Ruta 40. But in many ways, we're only just getting started. Thanks for tuning in, and join us again tomorrow for Stage 2 to San Juan.